What is up, good people? Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is the end of the year. And in the spirit of the end of the year, I wanted to do what a lot of people were doing, which was the end of year wrap up, just reviewing everything that happened all throughout the year and just taking some time to do some Q&A on some of the specific things that happened to me between January and December of this year. So I went ahead and I actually started to think about this when I was going through some recent photos of mine. And man, 2025 was a really cool year. And I'm very, very blessed and very, very grateful about all of the great accomplishments that I've made this year, um, and all the successes. It was chaotic, it was exhausting, but it was rewarding and it was surprising. And I'm just very happy to be able to share this opportunity and all this time with you guys as I move forward in this space. Um, so this year, the channel saw so much growth, and it came from directions I didn't expect it to come from. And I'm just trying to still navigate being in a bigger platform, being in this space. And it's really cool. It's really fun. It's really interesting to see all the people I see or some of the people I don't see uh, as I move forward. Um, but yeah, 2025 was a really cool year. I got to meet so many celebrities. I got to do so many cool interviews. I got to see so many great shows and movies. Movies was really, really, really cool. But television, man, it felt like every time I felt like TV was just gonna plateau, something else would come out and be like showing me that there's levels to this, right? Like it's like hold my beer. It's like so many cool shows came out this year. And most interestingly, a lot of sci-fi shows, horror sci-fi shows really took the cake this year. Who didn't think or who wasn't caught up in a chokehold when Alien Earth was coming out every week on Hulu? Like, this was incredible what these guys did with the Alien franchise to reinvent it and deliver it in a television format. And I can't tell you how excited I am, um, and how they reinvigorated that franchise for me in ways that I didn't think they could. I'm really into it now. Like I've started reading back into the lore, started going back into Alien versus Predator stuff, trying to read all the interviews about what might be coming in the future. It's really really cool what they did this year. And we can't talk about horror TV without talking about Welcome to Derry. That was also on another level. Uh, but it felt like a lot of great things were just raising the bar for what we're going to get in 2026. 2026 is going to start off with so many cool shows. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to take this time to go over that. And also, if you guys see in the comments, you have any questions for me, anything that you might want to ask about, a specific moment I'm recapping, or if you want to just talk about your favorite show. I know a lot of you guys know me for From coverage. If you got any From Q&As, I'm actually reviewing the show now in preparation for season 4 and just taking some new notes. So I think if you guys have any questions, now's the time to go through them. But yeah, let's see what we got going on here. Let me show you guys what I've been up to. Where are we at? Here we go. No, that's not. Let me see if I could get a little. See if I get a little fancy. Maybe I can get a little background music. I like that. That's cool. 2025 started off to a great start. This is my little. I'm not. Let me turn this down. Snack that I started the year with. Um, be your good night. That the night's gonna be your good night. That the night's gonna be your good night. Just live it up. I got my money. Just beat it up. Go on and flush it. Like oh my God. Keep up the sofa. Just kick in. Oh. Yeah, it was a fun start. It was definitely a fun start. Um, Heart Eyes did come out this year. You know, I kind of liked Heart Eyes. It was a corny movie in a way, but it was like a really fun movie. It was something that like was not sorry about how it borrowed from everything. And it did what you expected it to do, but it did it in again a really fun way. So this movie kind of set the tone for what kind of year we were gonna get from horror, and it just like kept going up from there. So like I really enjoyed this movie. I really had fun with Heart Eyes. I think they're actually gonna make a Heart Eyes too. Um, but yeah, I remember this movie earlier this year, and I was hyped for what was coming after this because I was like, yo, if this is our January February movies, we're gonna go great from here. Whew. And then I saw this, man. I don't know how many of y'all saw Love Hurts. I don't know how many of you went to theaters or maybe even saw Ki Kwan in the movie and was like, yo, he's doing an action movie. I want to see this dude. And you finally hopped in. I don't know how many of y'all did this, but if you did, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I remember watching this movie with so much anticipation because he's finally getting his chance to be a lead. He's finally getting his chance to do action. He always talked about how he was really good in martial arts. And I'm like, yo, this guy, he could be the guy. And Marshawn Lynch was great. Marshawn Lynch was hilarious. He was really, really funny about in this movie, and I really enjoyed his scenes where he was talking all sorts of crazy smack. He was chasing this dude around like they were Bebop and Rocksteady. It was hilarious. Um, but yeah, Love Hurts hurt. I remember I was walking downtown in the city, and I saw this, and I was like, "This isn't real. That's a building. When did we make buildings look like that? What happened? I didn't even know this thing existed." And I was like, yo, I got to take a picture. And I showed it to my wife. And of course, my wife was like, duh, don't you know that building? And she went on to explain it's like, I don't know, like a Gucci building or something. I don't know. Louis Vuitton. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Keisha. Good morning. How you doing? Oh, let me. go. Um. Oh, this was cool. This was cool. So I got invited by YouTube to hang out and watch the Super Bowl at their private event in Manhattan. And I was like, of course I want to go watch the Super Bowl at YouTube's private event in Manhattan. Why wouldn't I? So I got invited to go watch Kansas City take on the Eagles. It was a great game. Everybody remembers this, mostly, I think, for Kendrick doing the halftime show. But what was really cool is that I got to watch the football game with a whole bunch of other YouTube creators in the New York area. So it was an event open to all New York, well, not all, but I guess invited New York creators to come hang out, chill, connect, maybe see if there's any way to collaborate, all this cool stuff in this place while also playing virtual golf. That was a thing. This was 5 iron golf, virtual golf um, during football. Jack, the guest bartender. Yeah, the bartender started drinking. Yeah. Bartender started drinking. I don't know. I don't want to get these guys fired. But yeah, they gave us these cool footballs. I actually, I still have this football. I need to do a giveaway. I really need to do a giveaway. So, I guess throughout this stream, I'm gonna be just pick random folks, and if you are here, you're a subscriber. Heck, especially if you're a member, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a holiday swag bag. I've got so many things that I've been receiving from all sorts of places, and it's taking up too much space. Honestly, I need help. Help me help you, or help yourself by helping me. Thank you. um, but yeah, what's this? Oh, this is just me and the wife out. Ooh, yes, this is my Captain America shield. Now, what I really like about this Captain America shield, it's actually right over here, is that it's really a popcorn bucket. So this was the popcorn bucket that was a promotional item when Captain America: Brave New World came out in theaters. I went and saw the screening, and I was like, "There's no way I'm leaving this movie theater without getting one of these shields." So yeah, definitely had to cop me one of these, and that's what it. That's where I got what you guys see over here. And you know what? That thing is taking up space too, so I might have to go ahead and give that away too. Um, let's see. Let's keep going. Novocaine, man, Novocaine was a solid movie. This movie was better than I thought it was going to be, especially after watching Love Hurts. I was like, yo, ain't no way these movies are really going to be popping like the way they used to. But this one actually surprised me. This one surprised me. Yo, definite shout out to the folks over at Paramount for putting this movie out in theaters because it woke up the movie theaters and set the rest of the year to even a higher standard. And honestly, I'm surprised by how much better it got from there. Again, this was just in March. This is usually a slower season in the movie theaters. You don't see too many large releases, except unless you're Marvel, between January and March. Mainly because a lot of the country is under bad weather. There's a lot of snow outside. Tell me, there's a lot of snow outside. So, a lot of times you'll see more of these more modest releases that come out that, you might just go ahead and find some time to go check out. What's going on, Skylar? Yeah, that McQuaid dude is of good nepotism. you know, I personally don't knock nepotism in a lot of ways. I just knock how many people get to do it, but not, you know, a lot of people I know. it's we're not in that space to offer nepotism. I mean, we're getting in there, but you know, it's still not a lot of us. Um, but yeah, Novocaine was a solid continuation of the year. And again, guys, this is Q&A. I'm just going through the year. I just wanted to kind of recap all the cool stuff that I've been able to see and do throughout the year, and open up a little bit to you guys about some of the experiences. I know a lot of times you guys get to see, I get to like do cool stuff with the New Blurred Order. I get to interview a lot of people. I get to go to a lot of cool events, but I don't think you guys get to really see how it feels. And that's really what I'm trying to translate to you guys. I want you to guys to get a peek behind the scenes and get a sense of like, yo, how would it feel to be in those shoes? And I hope that that comes across to you guys. That's my authentic self right there. Some cool stuff I got to do. Oh yes, I got to go to the Tyler Perry Duplicity premiere. So this was cool, which was not so cool. It was cool at the time. It was cool at the time. It was cool at the time. I guess it still is cool. I ain't gonna let anything take away from that experience because being at a movie premiere for a Tyler Perry product what felt really cool. Um, yes, yes, yes. I've seen the news. I've seen the news. I know I sound like one of them people that went to a Diddy party and was like, I didn't see nothing. No, I didn't. I didn't. I didn't. I went to a Tyler Perry premiere and I got to meet some really cool cast. Me and Lord Sam over here. You see him in the comments sometimes.
Gonna get a quick spill and I'll ask you about it. Thank you. This is Melissa from Sherry. Gonna get a quick spill and
Uh, I'm gonna tell you something right now, Skylar. This was nowhere near the smallest red carpet I've covered. This is actually kind of spacious. I got to tell you, um, consistently, HBO gives a lot of ample space. It's not a tight event. It's never like you're gonna be close. That's just the nature of a red carpet. But it's not. I've seen where you're like stadium seating setup dang near where you're like it's a few feet like bigger no bigger than this space here. Um, so yeah, it's Amazon. I can't even knock them for this space. This was just a lot of press. That's what that was. They invited a lot of people. So as you can see, we were at the MoMA, um, and it was a really cool event. And actually, it was definitely one of the Tyler Perry movies I enjoyed more than others. Like I really think that the what is it the other Netflix movie? It's the 688. Um, that movie I think is his best film, and this is probably from what I've seen. I haven't seen a lot of Tyler Perry movies. I'm gonna tell you right now, and be honest. I haven't seen a lot of Tyler Perry movies, shows, or a lot of stuff. I took a Tyler Perry break, and now coming back to Tyler Perry and starting where I'm starting, I'm like, oh, this is cool. I'm really, you know, enjoying the product more because I couldn't say that the whole time. I needed a break. But yeah, this is oh, the woman in the yard. But yeah, that was the red carpet. That was a cool little fun experience. I I didn't I didn't put the videos of the after party in the album. No, you guys got to see the after party. So the after party was where things really, really got cool. So I've been to a couple of these after parties. They do them, right? They do them after the premiere, and it's a place for the cast to celebrate and enjoy a night out with their team, um, celebrating all that the release of all their hard work. And oh, it's not in here. Why isn't it in here? That's crazy. All right, I'm gonna have to find that and share that with. I guess I'll share it with the members first when I get a hold of it. But yeah, I actually have footage from the after party, which was Tyler Perry wasn't there, which was not surprising, but the rest of the cast of the film was there. And that was surprising, especially when I got to see how much fun everybody was having. Like, these guys have fun. Like, it was, I think I've shown it in one of the previous streams, but I wanted to show it to you guys. Yeah, yeah, they was turning up. They was turning up, rock style. But yeah, that was a really cool, fun little experience. I really enjoyed the whole event being there. Yeah, that was probably the most fun I've had at a red carpet in a very long time. Very long time. Then I saw this movie, The Woman in the Yard. Now, man, I don't know a lot of people who've seen this movie, but from the people who I know who have seen this movie, their feelings have been mixed. It's either you really love the way that the movie navigates the experience of grief and translates that in an artistic expression of a film like we have here with The Woman in the Yard, or it's people who are frustrated by the story and aren't 100% into the direction that the movie goes. This is a tough one. This is a tough one. I really wanted to enjoy The Woman in the Yard more than I did. I enjoyed it. It was cool, but it wasn't a movie I hoped it to be. I wanted it to be a movie that I would fall in love with and wanted to watch over and over and over again. And it was a movie that ended up being like, if I saw it again, it's okay. If I don't, all right. But it's fine. It's fine. If you haven't seen it, you can see it. If you don't, it's fine. Um, Let me see what else can't happen this year. Uh, this was one of the screenings. I don't know why I was taking this. I think I was taking this for B-roll footage. Like I used to do this back in the day. I used to take like B-roll footage and splice it together as an intro for my movie review to try to spice it up and make it interesting. But at the end of the day, I just saw a lot of people weren't watching the movie reviews, so I kind of cut down on those. But yeah, this is the effort that I was putting into this stuff. I was like, yo, let me go ahead and get some B-roll footage. So when review this movie, yeah, this is where my head was at. Then I saw Sinners. Man, I hadn't fallen in love with a movie like this in years. Sinners was it's interesting because I was interested in Sinners because I knew it was Ryan Coogler and I was interested in him doing something with Warner Brothers. And then E-Man like hyped it up a little bit to me and he was like, no, you gotta understand. Ryan Coogler is doing a vampire movie. Like, think about that. And I'm the type of kid who's like one of the five people in the world who like loved A Vampire in Brooklyn starring Eddie Murphy. I know it's not his best, but it hit me at the right age where I was a kid who was like, "Oh, this is cool, black vampires. We could do that too." Like this was really um up that alley of what I love to see. And he like sparked that in me. And then I was like, you know what? The more I think about it, the more reason I have to get excited for this movie from Ryan Coogler. And then I started looking at the cast and I'm like, all right, it's Michael B. Jordan. He always works with him. And then I'm looking at like, well, wait a minute. Delroy Lindo's up in here? Okay. Wumi? All right. And I started to get super excited the more I started to think about it. It got to the point where uh, we were talking to people about how this movie was something that is going to be impactful when it releases, well before it released, like at least 5 months before it released. We were like, wait a minute, Sinners is coming, Sinners is coming. We was like, yo, this is 50 Cent, Sinners is coming, Sinners is coming. You guys got to be careful, Sinners is coming. And this movie delivered. I'm so glad that Warner Brothers let us watch this movie in a big IMAX screen. It was the I remember coming out of the movie and doing my out of theater reaction and just overcome with like feeling and emotion. I was like, yo, this is the first time I came out of a movie and I wanted to walk right back in, like run it back, run it back. Like I wanted to see that. I wanted to stay in that moment for a while. And Sinners really became a movie that not only was impactful when it came out, but it like resonated. It kept coming up. It kept being discussed. It kept being referenced back to throughout the year. Like they're like, all right, but I don't see anything beating Sinners this year. Like that's the talk. That was the conversation all throughout the year until we started getting into the fall. But for like 6 months straight, Sinners was without question, I would say, the movie that was at the peak of what cinema was doing this year. Um, but yeah, this was a really satisfying release. This was a very um, well thought out film. It's a movie I would still watch again today. It's a movie that can still be done. I'm gonna tell you guys a story. This movie was so dense and thought out and sprinkled with rich detail. Two things happened. One, um, I got contacted by, I guess, this documentary film director who was a consultant on the film for Ryan Coogler to, just talk to me about how Lee. I had written an article about Legion Lee and about the Chinese in the Mississippi Delta. And, we started dialogue about that. Um, but in addition to that, my wife had invited me to what I thought was going to be a movie screening. People were just going to like, yo, we're going to get together. We're going to watch Sinners together. It's a screening party. Let's do it. And I thought it was that, but instead it was more like a session where we were in a room full of intellectual thinkers analyzing the film scene by specific scene and then sharing our thoughts and analysis of that moment and what is in that moment that could be easily overlooked. Um, E-Man makes it very good case about what there should be a spin-off of this film of those vampire hunting Native Americans. I totally support that idea. Um, those Native Americans just showed up in just a short amount of time, but in that short amount of time, they were so rich with detail that they were oozing with a story that hadn't been told. Right? Like, wait, Native Americans hunt vamp. What they do that? Wait, huh? There's a posse. Wait, hold on. How, what? Like, yo. So yeah, this movie got to the point where they were having watch parties just to dissect the moments of this movie, and that's how rich it is. If you actually go back and just see it through those other lenses. I remember we were talking about how the Chinese in this film, they were store owners, but they had two stores, one on one side of town and one on the other side of town. And some people saw it, most people saw it. Some people somehow, you know, it wasn't as clear to them, but there was one side of town where it was just black residents shopping, on the other side of town where there were only white residents shopping. But the Chinese had stores on both sides and they were able to walk between both worlds equally. It was such a cool detail that people caught onto and latched onto, just see factual representation of that time and just how much detail is in this film. But yeah, I could talk about this film until my face is blue. My fault, my fault. And that's what I'm talking about with this movie. Then I saw The Amateur. The Amateur was a cool little movie. Rami Malek, Lawrence Fishburne. I respected it. Don't piss off the dudes that like know how to hack. Just don't. You never know, man. They might mess with you. And this movie was a reminder of that. It was a cool little film, action film, I guess, with Rami Malek, and I definitely would recommend it if you haven't seen it. It's definitely a fun movie to watch and take in. Yeah, definitely. What we got? Just like in Welcome to Derry, the indigenous folk trying to save everyone, and white folks digging us and all. Not all of them. Not all of them. Think about it. And from two people tried to stop it, right? Jade and Tabitha tried to stop it. So not all of them. I want a movie about the twins and what drove them up to Chicago. Like they could have had their own movie from before the vampires, and it would have been dope. I mean, yes, yes, all of that, yes. And the cool thing about Sinners is that it can absolutely grow into all of that if they choose to, right? They can mine that and make that bigger if they choose to. If it's a priority, I don't know. It's only money. Um, but yeah, the amateur was cool. Oh, got to do this cool little interview with Tremel Tillman from Severance, and got to talk to him as part of the AFCA Roundtable. Now, for those of you who don't know, AFCA, the African American Film Critics Association, is the largest embodiment of Black film critics in the United States. They are gracious enough to allow me to join in on these roundtables with so many stars and so many incredible talents in the film and television space. And we got to talk to Tremel Tillman of Severance, but we didn't just get to talk to Tremel. We also got to talk to Zach Cherry. And it's just awesome to be able to speak to these incredible talents. Now, if you guys haven't seen Severance, I don't know what to tell you, man. You missing out. Like, if you like Pluribus, you would probably like Severance. It's about the same pacing, same kind of humor, dark. um, And yeah, Severance is in that space. It is that kind of show. And it's also that kind of show that you can't really say too much about to people who haven't seen it, if you want them to maintain that same surprise and enjoyment that you had the first time you saw it. Because this show definitely peels back and reveals slowly about things that are actually happening. I'm going to leave it at that. Great show. Great show. I love Severance. Oh, I got to meet Nate Moore. This didn't happen in 2025. This happened before. But for those of you who guys don't know, Nate Moore, if any of you guys watch Survivor, you've seen Nate. This is Survivor Nate, right? So, in addition to that, Nate is the executive producer, or was the executive producer for Marvel Studios, who was associated with the release of cool films like Black Panther, Captain America, Brave New World, Eternals, and a few others. He was involved with a couple of the Captain America movies, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, he maybe all of them. But yeah, he was that dude at Marvel that was putting out. I think what were my personal favorite releases in the MCU. Like I really love the Captain America movies above a lot of the other movies that came out in the MCU, and I also really enjoyed the Black Panther and Eternal franchises. So yeah, I was really digging what projects he was associated with. It was really cool to get to meet him. And yeah, this dude is tall. This dude is tall. But yeah, I got to meet him, uh, pick his brain a little bit about the MCU. What did we talk about? We talked about obviously the MCU, but also I did get to ask him, how does one try to become the next Nate Moore, and that was cool. That was cool. Ryan Coogler, got to meet Ryan Coogler a couple years ago for what was this for? I know this was at the African American Film Critics Association Awards. I was at the AFCA Awards. I'm trying to remember what was he there for. He might have been there for Wakanda Forever. And as you can see, he's got the Chadwick Boseman chain on, which was incredible. This man, yeah, big, 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 incredible move from this dude. Oh, Until Dawn. Now, this is my little sketch. Some of you guys might know this. I think I posted it somewhere, but I sketch as I'm sitting in the movie theater waiting for the movie to start. This is how I take my notes as I'm watching the movie. This is a little peek into the work that goes into being a film critic. I don't go into movies, just watch it, walk out, and then just try to remember later. I actually take notes as I'm watching the movie in the dark. I had to come up with techniques to do that, which was fun in and of itself. Um, but again, before the movie starts, I like to sketch. So this is just a little sketch I did of the logo, and I'm sketching in ink, guys. So bear with me. Until Dawn was another cool little movie. This was a nice little pleasant surprise. I liked it because I really liked the game. So my expectations were for them to just give me something similar to the game, remix it, and they did it. They did it. I had fun with this movie. I know a lot of people didn't all agree, but I think that this was one of the cooler horror releases of the year, especially if you're into a horror release that just plays with the concept of horror rules, right? Like the rules that come with a horror movie, it plays with it in a new way that I don't really see other films doing. So that's what I liked about this film. I still recommend it. I think it's on Netflix now. I definitely recommend it. Some food. Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts was a cool movie. Until Dawn pissed you off. Such a great concept. That hey, 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 it's fine. It's fine. It's okay. It's a movie. You know. Yes, it could have been better. Um, it definitely worked in the confines. He said, "Not go back to the plane." Yeah. um, the Pitch Black Awards. So this was a award show that was held in the Apollo in Harlem, New York, by Black Public Media. Now, this was a cool award show that I was so proud to be a part of and be invited to celebrate some of these great creators and emerging creators as they're growing now. So these are like highlighting both talents that have been in the entertainment space, whether it's in writing, edit. Well, let me back up. A lot of times we see awards that are given to people who are on camera, or if they're not on camera, it'll be like someone close to the camera, like cinematography, sound, director. You'll see awards for those people. This is where we get to highlight people in other spaces in entertainment, including editors, lighting people, makeup people, emerging directors, people who are still creating their short films that are looking for that opportunity to work on major theatrical releases, ideally theatrical releases. So just major motion picture releases. Um, and this award show was held in Harlem, New York this year. I was so proud to be a part of it. I got to attend and enjoy them celebrating this woman, Lillian E. Benson, who is one of these amazing award winning editors that have been working in this space for years. She's such a and I think sometimes people overlook what it is that the editor does, right? So a lot of times you'll see, the directors and the cinematographers, they'll find scenes to record and they'll figure out the angles, the lighting, and they'll have a vision for how they want that scene to look. But it's the actual timing and transitioning of moment to moment that also helps keep the momentum going of a film. That's just the editors are the ones who determine, what scenes are keeping the momentum of the film going and what scenes need to be cut out. And if you look, and it's not just editors, it's also, a collaborative effort with other folks that are working on the film. But the editors are ultimately sitting in that seat doing that work. So this is a woman who is a trailblazer. She's been working in cinema for decades. She's won amazing awards. She's worked on amazing projects that you probably are familiar with. But it's a role that doesn't get highlighted enough. So it was really cool to see Pitch Black and their acknowledgement of Miss Lillian E. Benson's contributions to cinema. This was again a cool event. They celebrated a lot of emerging talent. I brought my little one there so he could be exposed to this space in case he ever wants to be a movie blogger. If he's watching, he's probably not. He should be because he's supposed to give me a like for every video that I put out. But let's see if he does it. He's a teenager. Mission Impossible. All right, Mission Impossible came out. This was a cool film. And again, guys, this is not just me talking about stuff that I've done or things that I've seen. Feel free to ask questions. I'm here to do a little Q&A with you guys. Mission Impossible, great movie ish. You know, this movie did so many incredible things with Tom Cruise. This movie was probably the most stunt heavy film I've seen in years. And that's saying a lot considering that this is like, I don't even know, Mission Impossible 10. I don't even know. And this one is still raising the, like, it's incredible. Um, but I have to admit that I liked Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning more. And this film was fine. It was cool. But it did things that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Like people got murked that I don't think needed to get murked. People lived that I didn't think needed to live. It was a little frustrating in that way, but it was It's over now. It's fine. It's fine. Tom did some cool stuff in there. The submarine, top notch, top notch. This movie, Final Destination Bloodlines, had no business being as good as it was. No business being as good as it was. Final Destination Bloodlines came out and it again was showing us that horror was going to have a banger of a year. I didn't even think there was a way to make Final Destination fun anymore. And these guys surprised the hell out of me. And Final Destination did its thing. Um, really enjoyed this movie. Oh my gosh, man. This is a movie I could definitely watch a few times. Like, even though I know what's going to happen, it's still fun seeing it happen. I still will cringe a little when I see these. Oh man, the character. They understood the assignment, man. They understood the assignment. Yo, put some blood in the screen if you saw Final Destination. This movie was wild. This movie was wild. Me outside again. Oh, me at the Superman screening. So you guys may have seen me wear this shirt before. I have this Superman shirt that I had made. Um, but if you notice, the colors of my Superman shirt are a little bit different than the Superman logo. And that's because I wanted to have a shirt in the image of Val Zod. But I did love the Superman logo design that they used in the film. So I was like, yo, I think it would be really cool if I take the new logo design and give it the Val Zod colors. If you don't know who Val Zod is, man, please check into who Val Zod is. Val Zod is a Superman variant. He's an interesting one. He kind of reminds me of Wonder Man. Like, he's more of a pacifist. He doesn't really like to throw hands. But he's out there. He's out there, and he's got like a really really cool costume. Um, doing some fun things, yo. Doing some fun things. Superman. Like I said, yeah, free to ask questions. Fixed. Oh man, so I was so excited to see this movie. So Gendy Tartakovsky, you guys probably know him from Primal. I think he also worked on things like Two Stupid Dogs. Like, he's been around in the animation space for a very long time, and he tends to make projects that I really enjoy, whether it's action or it's comedy. So when I saw that Netflix had this event that they invited me to watch a screening of his new movie, his new animated movie with Gendy in attendance, um, I jumped at it, right? Like, I was like, yeah, of course, I want to go see this. Of course, I want to figure out what Gendy is cooking right now. And man, it was I. You know, it just I think it targeted a type of humor that wasn't my kind of humor, but it was cool. And they gave me like these cool little bottle openers. And if you see, the bottle opener has a, yeah, that's a, you open it at the butthole. That's the kind of humor that was in the movie. It's like a lot of dog buttholes, and yeah, it was cool. It was cool. It was cool. But I got to see Gendy, and I got to hang out at a I guess it was a luncheon, maybe a dinner with him. It was a cool little dinner thing they did where we got to sit around him and his producer and talk about the project. So that was cool. Um, Weapons, man, I jumped from when was this? I feel like I jumped months. But yeah, I guess apparently I went and saw Weapons. I had to have seen this in August. Yeah, and this was a really, really, really pleasant, cool surprise. So we were going to see Weapons, and I already I didn't have very high expectations for Weapons. I was just like, if it surprises me, great. But I'm going into this like kind of not blind, but the movie wasn't really saying much with its trailers to really give me an idea of what the narrative was, um, other than that kids were running around in the dark, Naruto style. And I had low expectations as like, all right, I like this director's last work. Barbarian was cool, but it left me kind of mixed feelings. Like he's very good at executing moments, but like as far as like the value of narrative and the beginning and ending of or the origin and the finale of a character or a storyline, he's he rubbed me the wrong way. But Weapons was cool because when we got there, we were sitting in the theater. I got to sit next to Wilson Morales, cool film critic and journalist in this space. Um, and they brought out the stars of the film, unbeknownst to us, like unannounced. They just brought out the stars of this film, and they introduced it to us. And I was a little starstruck. I think I have video of it because they gave us such a cool introduction, and it was wild because, yo, I feel like we did these people so dirty. I feel like we did these people so dirty, mainly because when Julia and Josh walked out, there was silence. You know how like normally when the celebrity walks out on stage, you might think people will be like, "Oh, applause, applause, applause." Everybody in the theater was dead silent, and the reason was because we were all in shock. But the way that they interpreted it, I'm sure it was wildly different. They were like, "Oh, these guys are dicks." Like they were just. I felt bad in the end because they came out. Like Julia was wearing this beautiful dress. Josh was just like, I'm Thanos, mother. Like, he was bringing that right energy, but we were as an audience not helping them. Like if it was WWE, is imagine the crowd is just silent throughout the match. It's like the wrestlers are going to be like, "Damn, what the do I suck?" Like so. Josh and Julia came out. They did their introduction. They told us about how this movie was, a lot better than people probably are expecting it to be. And they were very, very proud of this project specifically. So it was cool to me. I was like, "Oh snap, that's the Silver Surfer!" Like, and Thanos, like, But I feel bad because again, we were as an audience in shock, could not move. I'm sorry. Where's my tab? What's this? Oh, so I think after I left the weapon screening, I walked outside and across the street they were doing the premiere for oh, what's that Amazon show with Chris Pratt? And Terminal List Dark Wolf. They were doing the premiere for Terminal List Dark Wolf. So Taylor Kitsch was there. I think Chris Pratt was there. I know Luke Hemsworth was there. And I was like, "Oh man, this day is getting better and better." I walked out of a really cool movie with a surprise appearance of, you know, the stars of the film, Josh Brolin and Julia Garner. Um, but then I get to see there's a Dark Wolf premiere going on right across the street. So this is just like the wild stuff that you can just stumble into in New York, especially in Times Square. It's not often that they do premieres at these theaters, but every once in a while they'll release something at the Regal or the AMC in Times Square that where they'll have the stars there. I remember I saw the Black Adam premiere there, and they shut down Times Square for The Rock. Um, but yeah, that was a cool thing that happened this year. Got to see Hedda in New York at the Directors Guild uh, building, Directors Guild Association building in New York. So this was really cool. Or was it the SAG building? It might have been the SAG building, Screen Actors Guild. It was one of the guilds. Oh, excuse me, but it was really cool because Nia DaCosta and Tessa Thompson were in attendance along with the rest of the cast for this film. Now, I had no idea what Hedda was, what it was about. I did not care. Nia DaCosta and Tessa Thompson are some of my favorite talents in entertainment right now. I have really, really high expectations, I think, for Nia DaCosta's future. I think she's an incredible director. I think uh, she's getting some really great opportunities to showcase her talent. Um, I think she's just like, she's going to impress people when she gets to spread her wings fully. And then Tessa Thompson, I think she's just great. Tessa's just great. You know, it's just a great talent. So this was cool getting to see this film. But the only thing I don't like about the Guild theaters is if you notice, look at them seats. It's like I'm back in school. Like this is the school auditorium chair. You are more than likely in like if you have personal space boundaries that are like me and they're like a good solid, I don't know, one maybe 1.5 foot circumference around my body, that's going to be violated. You might be touching knees with your neighbor or bump knees at some point. Pause. This might happen. Those chairs, man, I don't understand. I don't understand why these places don't have different seating. But it was cool. Oh, and I got to see Nia. She was outside the theater, and she was like, "This is wild," because there was like uh, red rope, the velvet rope that was like blocking audience people from being close to the talent, but it wasn't fully blocked. So as somebody just walking down the street, I just walked in front and I was like, "Hey Nia, can I get a photo?" And she wasn't giving nobody photos, and she was already like getting in her car. Nia got out of her car, came back, walked over to me, and took a photo, and then got in her car. And that felt like the world to me because I don't know, man. I have a really good feeling about her and her talent as a director. I feel like that she's gonna really impress people given time. And this was a really cool moment. Like this is like to me, like when I got a photo with Ryan Coogler. Just wait and see. Ooh, another premiere. This one was in Brooklyn. Now I never see premieres happen in Brooklyn. This one happened in Brooklyn, and it was for a really cool FX show called The Lowdown, starring Ethan Hawke, Keith David, Killer Mike, and a whole host of other great people um, that show up in the show throughout the season. And man, I liked it because it's one of those few shows that go anywhere near Tulsa, Oklahoma. Like at least in the way that it impacts black people, right? Like a lot of shows they'll be like, oh, Tulsa, but they just kind of don't really mention it. But this show doesn't shy away of the history of Tulsa, Oklahoma. So I really enjoyed that aspect of it, and I liked what I saw with Ethan Hawke's character so far. It's he's a cool little journalist. He's cool. It was a really cool show. I am so anti spoiler, but I want to just give you a little bit of setup. So like, he's a author and journalist, and he writes stories for newspapers about, I don't know, wild stuff. Like he showed up at this one family's house and they thought he was going to do like a story like celebrating them because of how great their family is and how they contribute back to the town of Tulsa. And instead he's there and he's like, yo, I noticed you have all of these black artifacts in your house. Like you've got a church pew pamphlet signed by Dr. Martin Luther King. You've got this art from these people that you shouldn't have this art from. How did you get this stuff? And why are you buying up all the black owned businesses in Tulsa, Oklahoma? And I'm like, what? This what? This is what he's asking them? So I was like, all right, I want to see where he's going with this. I want to see where they're going with this. And I really, really, really enjoyed where they were going with it. This was a cool little show, The Lowdown with Ethan Hawke. Solid show, fun one. So yeah, it was cool. They gave me assigned seating, and I sat next to, I think it was the editor of the show. And he and I got to chit chat it up a little bit. And yeah, it's cool because these guys are always so down to earth. They're always so proud. They're always so excited to talk about their projects. But again, editors don't always get as much attention as I think they probably deserve. It's definitely a thankless role in a lot of ways, but they're the ones that are really making these moments great. Imagine Avengers Infinity War or Avengers Endgame if it didn't just switch moments right when it should have. If Thor didn't just come down into Wakanda in just the right angle and just the right way, or if Cap, Thor, and Iron Man didn't walk up on Thanos and we weren't looking at them from behind the shoulder and they just timed it perfectly with that speech. Like these moments wouldn't hit as hard if not for the editor timing when to do these transitions, when to have a monologue, when you're supposed to hear their voice without seeing their face. Man, they do work, man. They do work. But they also had a cool little after party event right there in Brooklyn as well. I love when they do these themed events for the screenings and the premieres. Ethan Hawke was there. Keith David was there. Killer Mike was there. Everybody's chilling. You get to walk up to them, have a conversation, talk to them, ask them questions. A lot of times you'll see the lead talent just mostly stay near the producers and executives that are working from the studio. Like they'll usually be arm in arm with those guys. Like, all right, you're the guys who hired me. Can you guys, if you guys want me back, just let me know. My rate. Like they're sitting there, they're rubbing elbows and doing what they got to do with the people who put this project together financially. So you can sometimes see them on their own, but they're usually active. But I like these going to these events. The after parties are always really cool. Um, People were able to go and take photos on the photo wall for the show. They're giving away custom bookmarks. Like they were making bookmarks. Again, this guy's a author and a journalist, but he's also a bookstore owner. So in theme with it, like this place has got like a bookstore vibe. Um, so they gave us these bookmarkers that we could keep that were customized and they were leather ones and they had our knit. Like it was really cool. I still have it. It's in one of my books downstairs. Otherwise I'd show it to you guys. But I got to go here. I got to see Keith David. Man, this was a moment for me. Keith David is one of my favorite voice actors and actors that has been around for a very long time. He and Ernie Hudson were like, like doing it for me in the 80s and 90s. Pause. And I really enjoyed everything that he contributed. This is the voice of Goliath from Gargoyles. Do you remember the speeches Goliath gave to us on a weekday afternoon? Like, yo, he did that. He did that. So this was really cool because, like, before I took a photo with him, I was just like, I just gotta talk to you and explain to you exactly what you meant to me, my childhood, growing up, the example you meant, to my household for me personally, and it does penetrate households when you have black authoritative or black role models on television. So yeah, it does. And I got to give him his flowers, so to speak, before taking this photo. So that was very, very cool. Took some selfies, ran into Killer Mike, took a picture with Killer Mike. He's always cool. Run the Jewels, Grammy Award winning musician. If you don't know who he is, listen, he's an incredible rapper and activist operating out of the Atlanta area. Got to meet him. That was always a great experience. Um, I think this is when I went to the Sukiant premiere in Florida. So the Sukiant was this short film that was about a Sukiant, which is like not quite a vampire. It's like a vampire snake person hybrid that's part of Black folklore in the Caribbean. And they made a music video slash short film about this concept and this being, and it was really, really good. They invited me and E-Man out to this premiere, and they had some really cool setup of these figures. They had a really cool luncheon. I'm sorry, but iPhone is not very good for me at times with videos, so it got blurry. But it was a really cool premiere event and party, I guess. You know, open bar, so directors walking around you in a much more intimate space. Um, so it was a really cool, fun time. Got to see the Sukiant. Got to interview the director with me and E-Man. Um, yeah, this is his interview, but it's like super noisy, so you guys won't be able to hear it. But um, and these things made some great content for us on the movieblog.com, which is another great blessing that we have. Movie blog, the website, man, that really took off this year. I think we doubled, if not tripled, in traffic this year. I think we're getting somewhere around 800,000 unique monthly viewers. So that was an incredible accomplishment. If you guys are ever wondering why am I not doing more video content, is because I'm doing a lot of website content, and that's where we're seeing a lot of traction. So just in case you guys are ever wondering, this was, man, Netflix invited me. Man, Netflix and me. Netflix is all right, man. Netflix is all right. They invited me out to see a screening of this animated film, In Your Dreams. And In Your Dreams is a Pixar esque animated film that is really fun to watch. It reminds me of so many different things that I used to love as a kid. One of my favorite things was this game called Little Nemo, and I think they had like a movie too, where this dude would like dream about and all these fantastical things would happen, or Little Monsters, where you would go into your like all these fantastical things that happen after your parents went to bed. And In Your Dreams is a movie a whole lot like that, by this director named Alex Wu. So it was really cool to be able to attend a theatrical screening of a Netflix release, because how many times do you get to see a Netflix movie in a movie theater, right? It's not a lot of opportunities to do that. So that was really cool in and of itself. But then of course also the Q&A with the director afterwards, and then the after party, where I get to kind of just have some time to talk to him directly. Um, cool release. If you guys haven't seen it, I definitely recommend it. It's if you guys notice, I'm also a member of the Critics Choice Association, and we just nominated In Your Dreams as one of the best animated releases of the year. So keep an eye out for who's going to be the winner in January. But In Your Dreams is definitely one of the better movies out there. Here's some stuff at the after party. There's the director, Alex Wu. There's Nate again. I wanted to show you guys again. He is on Survivor. I don't know why these photos aren't next to each other, but yeah, that's Captain America and Black Panther executive producer Nate Moore on Survivor. Yes, yes, all of that. Yes. What else happened this year? Jimmy Kimmel. Kimmel came to Brooklyn. So I got to go see Jimmy Kimmel in Brooklyn, which was a great show. I think this was the last show they did in Brooklyn. Like Matt Damon was there. They had like a really cool lineup of guests, and it was a really eye opening, fun experience because I got to see what's in the hot dog, so to speak. So like you got to imagine as someone who works as a creator, especially as like a one man show like I am for the most part. Um, it's cool to see how professionals do it at scale. And I got to see, how Jimmy prepares. I got to see him on the stage. I got to see him writing in his notebook or his notes, reading over his notes, talking to his producers, making sure to make like all that stuff that happens off camera. I got to see it. And I got to say, it inspired me. It inspired me. I always think about making this show something that's TV level presentation. I aim for it. I don't think I succeed at all, but it is my goal. And it was really cool to be able to go to that and just see how they put that together. We ain't even done yet. But yeah, I had a very, very busy, blessed year. Thank God. Thank you, God. Um, this was the Black Effect podcast network, which is a podcast network that is spearheaded by entertainer Charlemagne the God, and he runs this through iHeartMedia, partners with iHeartMedia to do a collection of Black creators who are podcasters and just highlight their shows and their talent as part of their network. So they had an event just celebrating the anniversary of the Black Effect Network. Was invited to go to that. I brought my other son with me for this one, my oldest one. But it was really cool to be in the space with a lot of other creators. This is Brandon Collins, Africa member. A lot of other creators, but a lot of other podcasters who are, again, working at a scale where they have like, 300,000, 400,000 followers, subscribers, all that cool stuff. Um, and see them get highlighted, see them talk about their journeys, talk a little bit about their experiences, um, and everyone, and just, get exposed to them, pick their brain. There's a lot of cool creators in here, a lot of cool talent, a very cool event. This one was here in New York, so I really, really enjoyed not having to travel far for this. But yeah, this was a nice little event here again. Thank you, Apple. Thank you. Um, got to take some pictures with some. If you guys watch Charlemagne on The Breakfast Club, you know who this is. Um, and then Charlemagne himself, he's all so cool to take. Man, it's good to meet a bald brother, right? It's not just me. It's not just me. Yes. Um, why is this in here? So season two is coming. We know that. Supercell. Um, why do I have the script here? Interesting. Okay, this was we're getting towards the end of the year now, finally. This was me going towards the New York Comic Con. I think I had to pick up my passes. And I wanted to pick up my passes a day before the event, rather than going the day of. So I just took pictures of the art. I got to walk through a Jacob Javits that was empty. So this was cool because like I went I got my passes, and then I started flexing with them like as if they gave me permission to walk through the place. And I just started. Nobody stopped me. So I'm like, oh snap, this is cool. I'm at New York Comic Con a day before the Comic Con, and I can navigate which tables I want to visit the next day or which ones I want to cover or whatever. And this was really really cool to be able to get into the Javits a day early. And it was really um, oh dang, why is it sideways? It was a little eerie, a little eerie. If you've ever been to the New York Comic Con, this is a rare sighting. This is like that rare Pikachu. You never ever can see that far, that much floor space during a New York Comic Con. Never. The crowds are insane. But I got to be able to walk around again, take some pictures before everybody came and crowded up the space. Like they're still setting up, and I'm walking around the setup crew as if I'm okay to be there. Nobody stopped me. Nobody stopped me. So that was cool. Walking around the Javits a day early. And then later that night, this is when I went and had dinner with Hunter X. Hunter X, the band. So you guys may have seen this band during the football Christmas game. They were on Jimmy Kimmel Live. They've been on SNL. They're being brought into the world, into the forefront of the world, and as part of this campaign for K-pop Demon Hunters. So this is essentially the voices, the voice actresses behind the K-pop Demon Hunters, the singers and the story voice actors. So this was a dinner we got to have with them, and they just sitting down. We're in Koreatown in New York City, eating, and we're eating with the K-pop Demon Hunters. So that was a lot of fun. Um, but man, that was a lot of food. It was way too much food. It was way too much food. The food just did not stop coming. It was delicious too. But we got to enjoy some really cool moments with these incredible women. We're friends now, obviously. I'm friends with the K pop Demon Hunters. So just going to put that aura out there. Got to hang out with them, eat with them, hang out with some other journalists. Just to let you know, it wasn't just me. It's a group of us. This dude is the songwriter, the guy with the glasses here. He's actually the songwriter of all of your favorite songs for K-pop Demon Hunters, including Golden. So it was cool to be able to have food with him, and also, again, pick his brain about the incredible things that he wrote and well, how he, wow, how, how, sir, how? Because I don't know about y'all, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. I hum and whistle that song "Golden" to this day. Just randomly, I'll just be walking through the office, like I it's I'm sorry. It's just it was incredible. It was a fun event. Again, I'm friends with the K-pop Demon Hunters now. Famous. I made it, y'all. I made it, y'all. Yeah, like I said, we're friends. Hunter X. So that was cool. Yeah, I said we're friends, right? Yeah. No, 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 no. I mean like friends, like we're not just stage friends. Like I, c- I know you now, and that's people like me. People like me. Once you get to sit down, you get to love me. You know me, you love me. That's how it goes. So yeah, and then it was cool as I was leaving. They're playing Golden. They're playing K-pop Demon Hunters Takedown. After I just, as I'm leaving, listen to what's playing. They're playing K-pop Demon Hunters Takedown. After I just had dinner with the K-pop Demon Hunters. So yeah, that was a fun moment. Oh man, you guys ain't ready for this. Y'all don't even know who this is yet, which is wild to me. But I'm gonna tell y'all who this is. These two are the stars of the new upcoming Game of Thrones series, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Yeah, this is them. This is what they look like in real life when they not, um, you know, doing Game of Thrones stuff. When they're not doing this, right? This is what they look like. He has hair. Egg has hair, and this was cool because again, this one happened at the New York Comic Con. The good folks at HBO invited me to have an opportunity to sit down and talk to these two gentlemen about Game of Thrones and their new show. And this was after they did a really cool and maybe a little controversial New York Comic Con panel where George R. R. Martin just spoiled the whole show. He was just like, oh, and you know, do you like dragons? Like he just spoiled essentially the whole show. And yeah, they had to do interviews after this. Not George wasn't there. No. George is just too loose lipped, so we didn't get access to George, but we did get access to again the actors who played Dunk and Egg in the show. So it was a cool little roundtable moment. I haven't put out these interviews. I've had these interviews for over 2 months now, mainly because we talk about the show, right? We talk about things, and I want to at least give you a little bit of an opportunity to watch the show to appreciate this interview with these two. So yeah, I got that's coming in 2026, early 2026. I've been thinking about whether or not I want to do what kind of coverage I want to do. Maybe I just do the interview releases, but if you guys really want it, I can do. I can't say deep dives. Well, maybe, but I have been reading a Night of the Seven Kingdoms comic by George R. R. Martin to like kind of get a compare and contrast. But maybe I could do something. Let's see if you guys, if this is something you guys would actually want to see. Otherwise, if it's not that deep, it's okay. We can skip it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you're a Game of Thrones fan to the point where you would want some deeper coverage on a Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Got to talk with the showrunner. So this is the actual showrunner for A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. He's actually he was one of the writers for House of the Dragon. So he actually, I guess, graduated to showrunning his own spin-off series based off of his amazing talent. So that's pretty admirable. And he's young too, you know, and he's working with George R. R. Martin. He has him as a resource. And I think one of the things that's really interesting and really a credit to this guy's name is that George has said this so far is his favorite adaptation of his work. So yeah, kudos to the showrunner for A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Let me not be disrespectful. Let me or lead writer. Ira Parker. Sorry, man. Whew. Co-creator, showrunner, and executive producer Ira Parker. Some more Comic Con stuff, some cosplay. You know, I actually did get to enjoy Comic Con while I was there. A lot of it was spent in these spaces doing interviews or other events, but I did get to walk the floor a little bit and enjoy the cosplay and get some footage for you guys of how it looks when it's full. So we got an Afro Samurai, which is cool. There's me and my son cosplaying as Smoke and Stack. This is us at the Mighty Nine panel with the whole team at Critical Role talking about their series. And Wayne Brady is there because Wayne Brady is in the show. He's one of the voice actors in the show, so that was a pleasant surprise. Got some One Piece balloons here. Man, I've never watched One Piece, and I'm scared, yo. I'm scared. Metal Gear Solid cosplay that was always great. This is when we got to go to this event held by Jason Bloom. So you guys probably know Jason Bloom from Blumhouse. Produced and released that film Woman in the Yard. Megan, Five Nights at Freddy, Get Out, so many cool horror, The Conjuring series, all these great horror films. He actually held an event in New York and invited some of us press there to have a discussion about the business of fear. And it was a really cool opportunity for him to peel back the layer and show us um, how they, as producers and as a business, analyze the specific genre of horror as a way of making, you know, profit. So they gave us this cool little chart of the most profitable horror films in 2025 and the least most profitable or least performing horror films of 2025. And you see Sinners is at the top with the highest performing at the box office as of October 2nd. Um, and we got to hear from Jason Blum and his team again, just what their perspective is of the film industry from a Blumhouse business standpoint. It was a cool little panel. Then I got the opportunity to, I don't know why this is upside down, talk to some of the executives. I got to ask Jason Blum a question um, about the future of black led horror films in Blumhouse and if there was still going to be a future there. And he gave me an answer, which I appreciated. I have it on film. I've been apprehensive to put that one out, but I'm on the fence. It might come out one of these days. I do have that question from Jason Blum about the future of black led films at Blumhouse. Got to see some more cosplay, K-pop Demon Hunters. This is when I was still on my K-pop Demon Hunters high. I just had dinner with them. We're friends, so like I got to when I was seeing the cosplay, I was like, yeah, I got to get this. I got to get this. I got to get this. I was all right. Goku, Goku, Super Saiyan Blue Goku, out here looking a little like Chadwick. Um, the Comic Con floor, me and my son again, this time with Riley from the Boondocks, um, Dr. Voodoo, Baron Drum. Uh, these are Warhammer cosplays, I think. Found another smoke. Found another stack. So I had to take a photo with her. The Marvel booth, which was fun. The Marvel booth was fun. They were like, "Oh, you got to get in line." This Kira from the Blurred Order and Room Full of Blurs. They were like, "Oh, you got to get in line if you're buying." I'm like, "I'm not buying," and she was like, "Oh, okay." So I just walk it. It's always like that with me at New York Comic Con. If I just act like I'm not doing anything wrong, nobody bothers me. But they had some props on hand from their upcoming Marvel television shows, which was also cool to see. Daredevil cosplayer, me and my boys again, this time with my youngest. He's cosplaying as Miles. Lady Mandalore from Room Full of Birds with a Ninja Turtle. Spidey putting on his mask. Um, the Anne Rice show. The Anne Rice show that's out. Shoot. This is the cast. There's David Fickner and the cast. There's Kira. She's a fan of the Talarasa, something like that. She's a fan of this show. I'm haven't covered this show. I'm not familiar with it. Forgive me, but I know that this was a cool moment. Again, New York Comic Con is really great opportunity for us. It's almost like a little. I won't say it's definitely on par with like a film festival, but it's getting there. It's definitely getting there with the amount of talent that they bring out, the access that we get. They do little press conferences. We get to do one-on-one interviews. It's definitely getting there. Cyclops and Havoc cosplay. I thought that was cool. Oh, this is when I got to hang out with the cast of It Welcome to Derry. So, you guys have seen my interviews, but again, I wanted to give you guys an opportunity to see what it's like being there. Like, it's weird. I'm just sitting there and I'm like, all right, I know they're coming. And then they just walk in the room and they do little photo ops. And it's like, you got to get your nerves together quick, fast, because it's about to start. So, this was my interview with the showrunners, David Fuchs and Brandon Caleb. And man, I didn't know the opportunity. I didn't know I was sitting next to Aladdin from the 1994 cartoon. And I had my moment to do a duet with Aladdin and I wasted it. So if you're seeing this, I need you to know that I need to make this happen. Please, we need to duet. And I know you're working on Crystal Lake and you're busy. You're going to do the Friday the 13th. You're going to try to do the Friday the 13th, what you just worked on with it. Welcome to Derry. And I applaud you, but we need this Aladdin duet. Thank you. But yeah, I got to sit here and talk with them, and this is kind of how it looks before it's edited and put up there. As you guys can hear,
Nice, cool. And I'm with Drew Maury. Oh, Drew Maury.
right, we're introducing ourselves. We do all this beforehand just to give you guys an idea of how it usually goes. And then, as we're sitting there, more people come and sit down. And it's a cool little thing they do in order to expose the talent to the maximum amount of press at once. They'll sit like three or four different press outlets at a table. We'll each get an opportunity to ask 1 to 2 questions of the talent, and the talent can answer and chime in however they want. We usually get somewhere of like 20 minutes with per session. So as we're sitting here, these people get up, they go to another table with, four other outlets, and they do it all over again. And this goes for at least an hour, hour and a half. But yeah, that was a cool opportunity to meet them, talk to them, ask them questions about the show. You guys have already seen those interviews. I've shared them with you in a previous live. But yeah, it was cool. Cool little Wolverine cosplay, great Kingpin cosplay. Uh, Love the Star Wars cosplay. Had to get Kira, aka Lady Mandalore, in action. Jedi seeing these Sith sisters. It's on and popping on site. Predator, and I had no idea who he was playing until later. But this Predator cosplay, it slaps. It slaps. Fantastic Four event. They had this thing off of the convention floor. It was just like down the street, like some random building had this thing with the Fantastic Four on it. I was like, "What is this?" And there's people standing inside this door, and they're like, "Come in, come in." And you're like, "All right, I trust you." And they're like, "Yeah, come on, go in this elevator, go upstairs, and you're going to see this room full of Fantastic Four movie props and things you can do to have fun." And again, not on the convention floor, not advertised. Marvel Studios isn't officially at New York Comic Con, but they got this space where they set up a place for you to take a look at all this stuff in the Fantastic Four movie. So me, of course, I'm like, YOLO. Let's take my only one of my own, take my youngest son into this building where this person is and trust them. And lo and behold, it rang true. There really was a Fantastic Four thing going on there. Some scary people we saw at the New York Comic Con. Had to see when you see all of them together with their cosplay at this level. I had to get this photo. The Batman Who Laughs, always one of my favorite Batman variants out there. Incredible, incredible cosplay. Um, White Dino Thunder Ranger, uh, Red Ranger with the gold shield. Red Ranger with the gold shield was hitting. That was hitting. Um, I know this is from something I should know. I think it's Warhammer. Doctor Doom. The Doctor Doom cosplay was on point, especially considering how close it was to them just revealing the costume. So the fact that he started to make it movie accurate that fast is incredible. Um, and then I got a chance to talk with Joe Casada. So for those of you who don't know, Joe Casada is like this really interesting artist that worked at Marvel Comics. And he worked there for a while. He left. He did his own thing independently with this character called Ash. Uh, and he eventually was came back to Marvel, but they hired him to do something different. They wanted him to reinvent the character Daredevil. So he teamed up with Kevin Smith, yeah, that Kevin Smith who does movies, to reinvent Daredevil and re-energize him in a similar way that Jim Lee was hired to do for Fantastic Four and Captain America years ago. It was called Marvel Knights. They did this whole initiative where they took Punisher, Daredevil, all these characters that ended up turning into the same characters that Netflix adapted, and they created all these stories. So if you're ever like, the Netflix Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, all those characters and interpretations of Marvel's characters was really cool. This is the guy who created the source material for that, so to speak, or at least he was creatively spearheading that with Marvel Knights. But it went beyond that because eventually Joe Quesada became the editor in chief at Marvel because he was so successful with what he did with Marvel Knights. They promoted him to such a position where he was in chief creative control. And then he was also consulted on in the early MCU. So and Marvel used to have this like round table of comic creators that would consult on the story direction of the MCU, right? They were the ones that would help keeping it accurate and in spirit to what comic fans loved about these characters and made them true to their characters. So they used to have this group of people. I think Brian Michael Bendis was on it, Joe Quesada was on it, and others, Joss Whedon, um, and they would consult on the MCU. So I loved getting to meet this person who is like one of the unsung heroes of the MCU. So like when you think about MCU and them being true to things, like the fact that Agents of Shield was able to be accurate between the show and not step on the toes of the films for as long as it did was because of the efforts of this group of people, right? Like they were the ones that were not just making sure all the stories were consistent, but again, the characters were behaving in a way that people wanted them to. So I got to talk to him. He did some comics recently that got a lot of attention. And one of the things I wanted to ask him was to just kind of verify, like, yo, this stuff happened, right? Like, there really was a group of y'all consulting with the MCU, right? He confirmed it for me. And I have this interview. I never put this interview out, actually. Like, this interview still is not released. It's just. Take care, bro. All right, man. I, I debate with my friends, and I give you a lot of credit with them for the early stages of the MCU. Right. So like this is just a cool moment for me. I'll probably put this out eventually soon too. Members first, of course. But yeah, this was a cool moment for me because I know who these comic creators are and I know how to spot them. And he was just standing there. There was no line. I was like, this is crazy. Let me buy his comic. Let me pick his brain. And I started yelling at my kid, take the video. um, let's see what else happened this year. Yeah, it's been a busy year. It's been a busy year. Some more cosplay. This was an event for the AFCA organization celebrating uh, creatives in the Broadway space and plays and live performances. So they have this annual event where they provide awards to Broadway's brightest stars that um, are really really performing in this space. So Africa Goes to Broadway was this year, and amazingly, it was actually on my birthday. So it was a cool event because it was a cool way to enjoy my birthday, right? Like I got a steak dinner at a steakhouse on my birthday, but also because the crowd sang me happy birthday. Like everybody in the room sang, like all these Broadway people sang me happy birthday. And it was such a blessing. It was such an amazing moment. It was just such a blessed moment um, that I was able to enjoy. But yeah, it was a cool event. We do this in New York. Um, I've been able to attend, I think, three of the four award shows, and I've actually been able to present an award, which is a cool thing that I love to do, and I hope to be able to do more of. is actually be an on stage talent and present awards. That was fun. Um, but yeah, this was a cool event. Yeah, very busy year. Um, I'm not done yet. The American Black Film Festival also had an event where they had a pop up show in New York. Now, typically, the American Black Film Festival is held in Miami. If you're not in Miami, if you're not able to get to Miami, you might not be able to attend these events. So, what they did was to make themselves a little bit more accessible. They did a traveling pop up show where they stopped in New York, Houston, and a few other cities, bringing film to the people locally. And this was a really cool event, helped put together by Ally Bank. I really enjoyed it. I got to again have a cool meal, meet some other creatives, talk to the folks at Ally about their contributions to the American Black Film Festival, and talk to the American Black Film Festival executives about what they're doing. Um, so yeah, that was just a fun little event. I did a video. I did a article on the movieblog.com. You can definitely check those out. Um, this is just my neighbor ODN. Like I have a neighbor who goes hard with the holiday decorations, and I always just want to give her so much credit and highlight her talent because she is really doing her thing for Halloween. Um,
Yo, what's good, everybody? Anthony here with TMB, The Correct Opinion. The American Black Film Festival just touched down in New York City for the ABFF pop up. And it was all vibes, culture, cocktails, and conversations that actually meant something. We kicked things off at the Ally ABFF Media Mixer, where Ally Financial dropped real gems about money, wellness, and creative freedom. Because listen, it's hard to make art if your rent's the real villain. Then came The Fisherman, the Ghanaian dramedy that had us cracking up 1 minute and holding back tears the next. It's funny, soulful, and somehow makes a talking fish feel like that one uncle who always got life advice nobody asked for. Director Zoe Martinson and producer Corey Jackson broke down how this story grew from a short film into a full feature. Shot on location in Ghana with heart, humor, and a whole lot of community. ABFF's pop up in New York City reminded me that the Black creative economy isn't coming, it's already here. And it's global. Shout out to ABFF and Ally for giving these stories a stage. Anyway, that's all I got for this one. I'm going to check y'all later. Peace.
oh man. Then of course you guys might have saw this. This was my Halloween costume. I put on the Sinner's costume one more time, but this time I went all out and I got some makeup done. So yeah, I was in full bloody stack mode, and yeah, the vibes was real. I went to a costume party, won, I won the costume party, me and my wife, because we were just killing it. We were just killing it. Like it was one thing to sit here and be dressed accurately, but another thing, the food, the makeup, and we were finding so many places to take photos. After putting all that money into time into the makeup, we had to take some time to get these photos. Now, for those of you who were able to check it out, where did I put it? I actually have a video of me putting the makeup on. Oh, nope, they ain't messing with those copyrights. No, 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 no. But it's the whole process of me getting the Glasgow smile and a couple of scars on the forehead. And here's the wild part. Here's the wild part. I went and I did my face like this. I got all the makeup done and I started walking down the streets of Manhattan and nobody flinched. Like it wasn't even like it was out of that ordinary. They were just like, oh, another one. They just didn't even react really. Like I'm sitting here bleeding and they're not impressed. Um Predator Badlands, great movie. Can't say enough good things about this. I've been going on with these movies. Oh, traveling again. I know Skylar like this. Yeah, man. I you gotta live, man. You gotta live. Yes. 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 Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Here I am.
Alan, the one on the right side. Do you hear something? The Banderas Bay is located like in San Andres Fault. They call it Ring of Fire.
Yeah.
It's like a big scratch from the inside. It's alone at the end of the. We're watching.
Oh yeah, Netflix. Netflix invited me to John Cena's last Raw. They actually invited me to go to another Raw, which is really cool. But yeah, they invited me to come out to Raw, see John Cena's last match in Madison Square Garden. That was a fun event. A lot of just random celebrities walking around. I think that's the Gangsta Granny. But yeah, that was fun stuff. See, getting to meet Nia Jax was really cool. Take a photo with her and Lash Legend. Sam J, the comedian, you've seen her on HBO killing it with stand up comedy. She was cool to meet. It was funny. I was like, yo, she was like, I'm Sam, by the way. I was like, yeah, I know. I'm just like a little starstruck. It was a little moment. Um, Meeting some of the wrestlers backstage, seeing John Cena deliver. I don't know. I like wrestling. This stuff is funny to me. John Cena's getting his ass beat. But yeah, Netflix got us a nice suite to watch the show from. Um, Michael Chi, this SNL comedian. And then what was cool was like if you guys saw in the video, they had like this bodega set up, which is basically like a little New York grocery store, convenience store. Um, yeah, Mike Lamont. I was invited to the show. Netflix invited me, so I was able to go behind the scenes. I have some behind the scenes footage a little while ago if you want to rewind. But Netflix invited me to go, and they had this bodega set up where they had like food. Like there was like cans of tomato paste, there was like popcorn, there was loaves of bread. It was like, nobody knew what to make of it at first. But after the event was over, they were like, "Take what you want." It was like being on that TV show where you could just fill up the cart. So I had these bags, and I started filling up these bags. Like I don't know, like I don't have food at home, and started filling them up with food. Um, and I had all sorts of stuff.
I got all sorts of stuff, bread, cookies, corn, all sorts of cool stuff.
So I ended up getting all this stuff to go home with a John Cena hat. Again, I got to give away this stuff. I got the John Cena hat, a wristband, Never Give Up. They gave me like a charger, which was wild, which is kind of cool because I kind of use it. It's like a charger for your phone, watch, and headphones that's WWE branded. Like they had all these things they were giving away to people um, at the event. So I took all these groceries and I ended up
I didn't show it, but Netflix was giving away all sorts of cool stuff after the event. There was like
I ended up taking all this stuff
bread.
and I just honestly I was feeling some type of way about I'm like I don't need this stuff, right? Like I really don't personally need it. So instead of keeping it for myself, I started walking through Madison Square Garden, finding some of the people who were unhoused. They were sitting there sleeping, whatever, and just offering it to them. And I ended up giving away like most of it. They didn't take everything. Like some stuff they didn't want. It was like peppers. What am I going to do with peppers? So like, they were like, "You got any cake? You got any sandwiches?" I was like, "Sorry, I should have, and next time I will." But I ended up just giving it to the folks in Madison Square Garden that needed the help. This is when I got to see Marty Supreme with director Mark Safdie in attendance doing a Q&A after. That was really cool. I really enjoyed Marty Supreme. I think it was one of the better films that came out this year, and it definitely showcases Timothy Chalamet's acting range. So for those people who've seen it, I think you guys have heard like they're saying positive things about it. It's legit. It's a good movie. I'm almost done. I'm almost done with the year. I know it's a crazy year, and that's why I wanted to share it with you guys. I'm like, I don't think you guys really understand how much you guys have inspired me, been with me, helped me get out of my shell and do cool things, or at least just live more. So thank you for that, all of you. And thank you to my wife because she's definitely the biggest support, biggest motivator, biggest inspiration I have is my wife. She's always encouraging me and saying kind things when I absolutely need it. So shout out to my wife. Some wine and cheese. Oh, so these are some of the things that I get in the mail. A moment to give you guys an idea of how cool some of these things that we get from as critics can be. Now, I recently had the chance to see this movie, Marty Supreme. Now, the movie. All right, this is a long introduction. I basically am saying I got some cool stuff. Here's an unboxing. So yeah, this is a really cool thing. I only opened it for a second. I wish I would have to get the video going, but and in case you guys don't know, Timothy Chalamet is involved with the marketing for this film, Marty Supreme, and I have to say, this shit surprised the hell out of me.
The ping pong balls? The ping pong balls? When you guys get a chance to see this movie, you'll understand the significance of the ping pong balls in the film. But
Some cool stuff. I'll probably put it out for the members. You get the full video.
is to hold all the ping pong balls.
Some chocolate, some water bottles, materialists,
Eddington,
and these are things I need to give away. So the new blurs, the blurs. Whew. Vince, thank you so much for having us and hosting us. We had a retreat with the Blurs, but we finally got to meet and live streaming with these guys for like over a year now. And this was the first time we actually got to meet in person. So there's Vince, tall ass. He's so tall, which is not even fair. He's over here. He's got a lot going for him. He's got a lot going for him, and the height is just pushing it over the top. That was just unnecessary, guy. Like you didn't have to do all that. And then there's Yaz, of course, the model, looking great, hanging out, and we got to meet in person, which was really fun. And we got to hang out for a couple days. And this giant mansion that they rented, that you guys can rent too if you're in the Orlando area, you want to be near Disney. But this was this a giant like 10 or 11 bedroom house and like 15 bathrooms. There's like it's a massive house, and we're all there playing video games, having fun. Zaina is there from social media, from Instagram and TikTok. My wife is there. We're all hanging out, having like a retreat, playing video games, doing blurred stuff as we should, and just vibing in person, which was a lot of fun. You guys probably saw this reel on Instagram. We went and did like Stranger Things VR, and this is like us doing the VR, and this is what we're seeing in the game. And it was a cool experience. Obviously, some people was like really getting into it. They kicking feet up and all sorts of stuff. It was a wild, fun experience. But I was sitting here like cool, calm, and collected. Like I got this. Like I am the one. But this was a fun experience. We got to do this VR experience with the squad. Um, where did I get this? I don't even remember where I got this, but this was some good ass food. Uh, oh, this was at this restaurant we went to in Orlando. Just me and the wife had a quick little date. This restaurant was cool. This restaurant was really cool. I got me some really good chicken and waffles. When I remember the name of it, I'll share it with you guys. The biscuits and butter. When you see butter come out looking like this, I'm gonna tell you right now. When the butter looks like this, and it's not in a square, you're doing it so right. Enjoy. Ask for more. More blurred shit. This time with Nali there and a cellist. I think you guys need to understand. I think you guys need to understand. I think you guys really need to understand when we hang out. Like I said, this is a like 10 or 11 bedroom house. And man, I got to go back and I find the footage because I started going through all the bedrooms by myself because each bedroom is themed after a different thing. It's like a Scooby Doo bedroom. There's a Up bedroom. There's a Transformers bedroom. There's a Simpsons living room hangout area. Like every room is decked the hell out. There's a Pokemon room. Like Super Mario with Super Mario hats that you can wear. Like they have a Mario and Luigi hat just for you to wear while you're in the Super Mario room. This is crazy. And while we're here, we've got a cellist just no, you in it. Everybody.
See how you like it. Let me see that.
Pose.
Is that you? No.
I had so much fun, man. I had so much fun. I don't think y'all understand this. Having a cellist, and she wasn't just playing like she was playing like nerd stuff. Like she was playing like the Legend of Zelda. It was like it was really cool. And then afterwards, she played Uno with us. There's Vince being all romantic. Get some karaoke. It's okay. I got their permission. I can share this. I told them I had the footage. Oh man, we had a vibe. We had a vibe weekend. It was too much fun. Definitely had fun hanging with them. Then this is me coming back, um, getting ready to go to the celebration of Black Cinema, trying to figure out my outfit. And they said the dress attire was festive, and there was no idea what that meant. Like it's Christmas time. What do you mean by festive? Am I supposed to come like dressed out for winter? Like, well, what does that look like? So this is me just going through my outfits, trying to figure this out and trying to figure out what festive is. Clearly, this is festive, but not for this event. So that didn't work. So this ended up being the look, being a little festive-ish with some proper pants. And here's what it looks like behind the scenes. So you guys might have seen some of the photos from the event, but this is how they get them. This is how they get all the pictures. Got to see some cool celebrities back here. Damson Idris, Delroy Lindo. Get my own pictures, get my own little moments. And look at them. They're like standing next to each other. And after a while, it's just like, bro, just make it happen. Get in the photo together. I didn't mean to skip over this queen here. But they took the photo. They had a moment. Wumi Masako showed up. She had a moment. A few more folks showed up. Tiana showed up. But yeah, just want to give you guys a glimpse as to what it's like back here, how these photos get together. Peel back the curtain a little. Journey Smollett. My guy Ryan Coogler and his wife Zinzi. David Allen Greer. One battle after another, director Paul Thomas Anderson. The women of One Battle After Another getting an award. And yeah. Yeah, I'll definitely put these out to the members because I got a lot of cool footage. Samuel L. Jackson showed up. Nick Fury showed up. Mace Windu. Me with one of the actors from Sinners. Man, why am I blanking? He played Sammy. I don't know why I'm blanking on his name. Miles Catton. Miles Catton. So me with Miles Catton, me after the event when the room is empty. This went out to the members already. The members saw this. Me and Jay Farrell, the host of the show. Me and one battle after another star, Chase Infinity. And then me walking into the after party. Because, yeah, we had to have an after party. And, of course, the Apple iPhone just getting blurry all the time. But it was a cool little after party. Me and Michael B. Jordan played Smoke and Stack and Sitters. I kept cosplaying this, and it was cool to meet him. Oh, and then my New Year's party for work. When we got to have a New Year's party, holiday party at the top of One World Trade. So that was a cool dinner. And to get that view was really, really cool. So yeah, One World, it was a great year, man. God blessed me this year. There was a lot that went on that I was fortunate to enjoy. Then my neighbor decided she was doing more than just Halloween. She could do Christmas too. I'm like, all right, now she's the goat right now. She's just a goat. She solidified herself as holiday decoration goat for the neighborhood. I just recently did this interview with actress Rhea Seehorn from Pluribus, which was fun. You guys put me on the Pluribus, and I enjoyed it. I binged it. I went through all 9 episodes quick, fast, and then got an opportunity to talk with Rhea. This is when I met Harold, the star from, again, Michael B. Who else? Is that it? That's it. We're done. Went through everything. Look at that. And you guys are still here. Well, that's all I had. You know, I really had a great year this year. God has really blessed me this year. I think 2026 is going to be even more incredible, honestly. I'm making a concentrated effort, honestly, to be more active this year. I want to just kind of go out one year on a bang, just like I did everything. I'm not going to do South by Southwest this year. I've done that. I'm cool. But other things I will do. I will go to the Critics' Choice Awards. I'm going to see if I can go to ABFF in Miami. I'm going to see if I could go to the San Diego Comic Con. This is going to be a big year for comic book movies. I'm going to try to be a little bit more out there this year when it comes to doing coverage and enjoying these things. And I hope you guys stick around and enjoy it with me. You know, I love to give you guys my view of these events when I do them, because I think you guys inspire me. It helps me motivate me to want to do these things, and I feel like I owe it to you guys to see what you guys are bringing out of me. So yeah, that's what I wanted to show you guys. I hope you guys enjoy it. Didn't see very many questions, but I hope you guys enjoyed what this year was for me. That's all I had, I guess, for this one. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you guys are new here to the movie blog, if you guys are excited for what we're going to do in 2026, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, From, and whatever other shows pop up, subscribe, like, check me out. Otherwise, I'm going to check you all later. Peace. And Happy New Year. Be blessed.